researchers have uncovered a disturbing pattern of environmental injustice perpetuated by England's water and sewerage companies, alleging the use of deceptive tactics to deflect blame and inflate the costs associated with infrastructure improvements. A new study, published Monday in the journal Nature Water meticulously analyzed the communication strategies of 9 major water companies: Thames Water, Southern Water, Southwest Water, Wessex Water, United Utilities, Anglian Water, Northumbrian Water, Yorkshire Water, and Severn Trent Water, revealing a disturbing parallel with greenwashing techniques historically employed by the tobacco, alcohol, fossil fuel, and chemical industries. The research, led by Professor Alex Ford of the University of Portsmouth School of Environment and Life Sciences and Institute of Marine Sciences, exposes a carefully orchestrated campaign to mislead the public and manipulate governmental agencies. The study employed a framework encompassing 28 established greenwashing tactics, finding a striking consistency in their application by the water companies. The researchers argue that these companies have skillfully prolonged environmental injustices through calculated obfuscation and manipulation of public perception. A key element of this strategy involves the deliberate softening of language surrounding raw sewage discharges. The term sewage treatment facilities has been strategically replaced with the more palatable water recycling centers, masking the reality of untreated waste entering waterways. Similarly, sewage overflows are frequently described as heavily diluted rainwater, even when containing significant amounts of untreated sewage, posing a clear threat to public health and ecological integrity. This calculated linguistic manipulation actively minimizes the severity of the pollution and its impact on the environment and human well-being. Furthermore, the study reveals a deliberate attempt to shift responsibility for raw sewage overflows onto cunts. Public awareness campaigns have prominently highlighted wet wipes as the primary culprit, effectively diverting attention away from the underlying issues of aging and inadequate infrastructure. This tactic cleverly deflects blame from the companies themselves, obscuring their responsibility for investing in and maintaining efficient and environmentally responsible sewage systems. The researchers strongly contend that this strategy serves to minimize public pressure for significant infrastructural upgrades and regulatory reform. Adding another layer of complexity, the research highlights the company's deliberate exaggeration of the costs associated with resolving infrastructure problems. The study cites figures as high as £660 billion, presented as an insurmountable financial barrier to discourage investment and reform. This tactic serves to manage public expectations and potentially influence governmental decisions regarding funding and regulation. The researchers suggest this inflated cost projection is a calculated strategy to delay necessary improvements and potentially minimize the financial burden on the water companies. The profound implications of this research extend beyond the immediate environmental impact. The deliberate manipulation of information undermines public trust, erodes accountability, and perpetuates a cycle of environmental injustice. The strategic use of deceptive language and the deflection of responsibility represent a profound betrayal of the public trust placed in these essential service providers. The findings underscore the urgent need for increased transparency, robust regulation, and independent oversight within the water industry to safeguard public health and environmental protection. The response from Water UK, the industry's trade association, sharply contradicts the study's findings. A spokesperson claimed that the English water sector boasts unparalleled transparency, citing the recent implementation of near-real-time storm overflow data available. They also pointed to the regular publication of company performance data by industry regulators. However, this response fails to address the core concerns raised by the research, namely the systematic use of misleading language and the exaggeration of costs to circumvent necessary improvements and avoid accountability for environmental damage. The discrepancy between the industry's self-portrayal and the evidence presented in the study highlights the critical need for independent verification and a thorough examination of the water industry's practices to ensure environmental responsibility and public health protection. The continued reliance on potentially misleading communication strategies, as evidenced by the research, casts significant doubt on the industry's commitment to transparency and sustainable practices.